So Canadian real estate's been on the news a lot lately, as that's the case almost all the time in Canada. It is the summer of 2024, and we're seeing news articles like this: 27-year low in condo sales. That's across Canada, which is actually terrible news if you're a renter. It's going to make the market even more tighter for rentals, even harder to get into real estate in the future if they're not building condos now. So this is not positive news story for anybody, but it's especially not positive for renters. But I came across this news article here, which is a wild story. It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to tell you, read it to you. We'll read some of the comments. I'll give you my opinion, but this was just mind-blowing what happened here. They sold their home in East Vancouver for just under 1.7 million. The buyer put down $85,000 as a deposit, which is pretty normal. The deposit's always going to be held into a trust, and it's kind of like a middleman in the exchange of cash for the house. And everything looked good from there until they needed more time for financing. So they granted them a 3-day extension in exchange for a second $85,000 deposit. So I don't think that's normal. Most of the time they just ask for an extension, but I'm guessing the seller's real estate agent really went for blood there. Anyways, the 3-day extension went up. They still couldn't get financing, so they asked for a 7-day extension in exchange for $170,000 deposit, making it a total of $340,000 in a deposit that was paid. So that's pretty steep, but if they close, it's not too bad. But of course, as you know, they don't close because they weren't able to get financing. The deal collapsed out. The buyer here got terrible advice from the realtor. I'm guessing they just really wanted that juicy commission check, because the reason the deal would collapse is because one of the buyers lost their job and they were trying to secure financing from a B lender. There's no way their realtor should have been telling them to put more of a deposit down to keep this house deal from collapsing. So the person that posted this was obviously the seller. It's asking, has anybody been in this situation before? They also mentioned that they're thinking about keeping the house now, which is kind of irrelevant. And their real estate lawyer is telling them that they should be entitled to the full deposit, but it could take some time. I'm questioning that one for sure. They are going to be responsible for mitigating the losses for the buyer here. But again, I'm not a lawyer, but just from an outside looking in, this kind of sounds like this lawyer knows that they got a strong case against the buyer here and they're ready to dig into some of that $340,000. I might get a second opinion on that one. But I'll read some of the comments. I'll give you my opinion here because this is a pretty crazy story. First comment, wow, they made a big mistake, the buyer here, without securing financing. I mean, if they knew they lost their job, they got terrible advice. There's no question about that one. And the original poster here actually replied, they are a couple with a toddler, first-time home buyers, and they went for a big buy here, but definitely bit off more than they could chew here. But honestly, I do feel bad for them. They're going to be renters for life at this rate. That probably lost them most of their down deposit. And surprisingly, I'm reading a lot of them return the money. I noticed this came up quite a bit. A lot of people are just telling them to give back the money. Obviously, I would never do that. There should definitely be some sort of penalty if you don't close your deal. And I don't expect them to be able to keep anywhere close to the $340,000. I suspect you're supposed to keep the money, keep it in the trust, and the seller's supposed to put the house back on the market and sell it. And if they take any financial loss for selling it for less than 1.7 or whatever it was supposed to sell for, that 340,000 is going to cover the difference. But it kind of sounds like the original poster here now wants to keep it. Probably because they just got that free extra money. But I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to just keep all of that. I'd be really curious to hear from another lawyer on that one. If there's any way you can get them to negotiate with their lawyer, this young couple might just really want out of this situation and want as much money as they can get. If you can get even 50% of that, I would take it in a heartbeat and sign off on that one. So it sounds like they have a pretty strong lawyer here. I'd be curious to hear about how the negotiations go on this. We'll see how it turns out. I was kind of looking like what type of real estate can you get for 1.7 million in each fan? So I did a little looking around. This is roughly what you're going to get here. This one's listed for 1.65. East Van. This place is nice. It's small though. It's only 1,700 square feet. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Fully renovated. That's pretty nice. Check out some other similar properties. Obviously, I have no idea what the actual property is. I'm just kind of looking. This one's a little bit higher. At what 1.7 will get you? And this is a half duplex, so not much. And this is website here kind of shows you the selling prices. It could be one of these ones sold for just under 1.7. This one's just under 1.7. This sold for 1.696. Pretty ugly. But look at this. Big lot, 900 meters from the SkyTrain. So this is being upzoned big time here. Definitely an investor, a builder type of thing. Yeah, this is a East Van. So it'd be something like this that they were buying, huh? Here are the pictures. Look at that inside. It has not been remodeled anytime soon. Looks like it's almost plywood here. Stained plywood. Ooh, that's ugly. Yeah, this is one of these houses that they're just going to knock down and build a big condo at. But I'd be curious to hear what happens to this story. I'll see if they keep it updated. I'll post it down in the comment section below if they do. But it got a lot of comments and it's a pretty wild story there. So give me what you think down below. And thanks for watching.